Hello, everyone. Today, we are going to talk about the most enigmatic of the planets, or I would say the nodes or the moon's nodes that we mean, the North Node and the South Node, which are known as Rahu and Ketu, or the dragon's head and the dragon's tail. Now, what do the lunar nodes actually mean? Magic and mystery arise when synchronicity is felt, when what you see in your chart and what you know of your life are congruent, synchronized, and reveal a pattern. Now, astrology is not meant to merely define, predict, or forecast. It's meant to stimulate our insight and make us understand ourselves. By understanding ourselves, we empower ourselves. It's here to help us do what the oracle at Delphi commanded: know thyself and nothing in excess. It helps us make better choices as it gives us a glimpse of who we are, where we have been, and where we are going. This lunar south node hangover actually influences our experiences in this life now. It acts as an invisible magnet beneath your consciousness, and we are wise if we know our moods and tendencies to be pulled in certain ways or why they are pulled in certain ways. We can act out the old storylines of default habits and our past karma or our past actions, or create a new story based on the fresh aspirations. What's exciting for me in all this theorizing is that as we learn about our chart, the nodes and the transiting forecast the planets offer us, we get the chance to release these emotions that are locked up in ourselves, whether from the past, and we actually get an opportunity to heal them. We get to do something new as well. The North Node is very pragmatic in offering suggestions, compensations, and practical ideas. Now, in the nodal axis, we see where we have repeated old themes, and in the North Node, we glimpse what we've often denied seeing about ourselves. And this includes forgotten and unused talents as well. Now, the North Node or the Rahu and Jupiter, they hold not only suggestions, but hints of forgotten innate talents that we have yet to discover. And with these new ideas and insights, we become freer to make better choices. Now, when the nodes are understood in the light of reincarnation, they are said to reflect the story of the original soul, the soul's intention on coming into this world, as to why have we come onto this world, what is our calling. In this viewpoint, the soul progresses through a series of lives, growing in experience and wisdom until it returns to the original oneness. Now, the south node, which is the Ketu or the dragon's tail, shows the mistakes that have been made along the way and the lessons that weren't quite learned, and thus the suffering that ensued. Now, because the South Node holds hints of your past life experiences and the North Node speaks to the direction your soul longs to go towards in this life, then a link of cause and effect creates a karmic pattern that gets imprinted in your mind and your soul, and this story is embedded in the chart. Now, the North Node represents our area of growth. The North Node, that is the Rahu, represents our area of growth and the life lessons we are integrating. It is always a combination of a North Node from birth with the current North Node in transit. So the South Node, which is the Ketu, is the seat of your comfort zone. It is the area you live in minimum up till about the age of 30. That's the comfort zone. Around the time or around the age of 30, which is also coinciding with your Saturn return, your North Node starts to become more heavily activated. So, this isn't usually an overnight process, rather, it takes some integration. But for most people around this time, if you have practiced tapping into your intuition, you will begin to receive messages of what is your soul's purpose on this planet, or how you want to make the changes that you are working through your mind and heart, rather than doing things in which you have been conditioned to do. So, more traditionally, the south node, that is the Ketu, is thought to describe the areas of life which we keep clinging to unconsciously, and we cling because the south node represents familiar territory and an area of life in which we have become accustomed to or which we have some experience. Now, it is experience gained from our family, your upbringing, our heredity, or from our past lives, depending on one's view of the world. Few would argue that it's easier to cope. It's easier to cope with and stay with whatever we are conditioned to or accustomed to, and so we can get stuck there forever. When cornered, we may run back and do what we are used to doing, or what we can do is, if we are wanting to change our circumstances, then we release the habits described by the South Node. So, when we remember that the South Node is the dragon's tail, the idea of evacuation is an easy one for us to grapple with. The North Node is thought to describe territory which is largely known to us. We are able to do those things described by our North Node, that is Rahu, but doing so may require considerable effort on your part. When we find ourselves in unfamiliar territory, we need to be more alert, more conscious in order to negotiate our way through in life. We need to use our head. That is why the connotation. Thus, the North Node, we say the dragon's head, embodies the notion of challenge and higher development, an area of potential for us. And also, it is the ascending node moving from south to north. So, it is little wonder that it has become associated with the notion of going up. Now, whether we view the idea of going up in the world from a material, social, or spiritual perspective, undoubtedly, the nodal axis has always been viewed as a spiritual axis, and the idea of ascension conjures up the notion of becoming closer to our higher selves. That means we become in sync with our mind and heart. Mind and heart is completely in conjunction. So the south node, which we say Ketu, on the other hand, is descending and being termed the dragon's tail. There is immediately an implication of something baser and more instinctual here. The head implies the potential for conscious thought and decision making, whereas a tail, without the benefit of the five senses, and especially the eyes, will always act instinctively. Whatever the exact meaning of the nodal axis, the meaning of the nodes is rarely obvious in worldly terms, and this is because they are principally concerned with our inner experience, the inner core, perhaps indeed with our spiritual journey of life. Before we analyze the North Node in Taurus, the South Node in Scorpio house, let's understand a little more of what role the lunar nodes play in astrology. Now, we have two lunar nodes, the North Node, which is also known as Rahu and the dragon's head, and the South Node, known as Ketu and the dragon's tail. They're always opposite to each other. The lunar nodes are the only astrological bodies that move backward, not only when retrograde, but always. So they're never retrograde or forward, they are always moving backwards. Because of their backward movement, the lunar nodes are associated with our past lives or what we have gone through in our life, with our karma or actions, and thus our destiny. More traditionally, the South Node is thought to describe the areas of your life which we may cling to out of sheer habit. In fact, it is only the South Node, also called the descending node, that is connected to our past lives, our past karma or actions. The North Node, on the other hand, is known as the ascending node, connected to our future actions and karma or our present actions shaping our future. And with this, the opportunity to change our destiny and rewrite the script of our life. So the South Node represents our unresolved karma and that we need to sort out in this lifetime or in the present. We will always have a karma to deal with in life, but what we deal with at present and transform ourselves is what decides our future. So the South Node represents all your unfinished business from the past, chances you haven't taken, dues you haven't paid, and things you haven't quite brought to fruition. So basically, you're born with the task to finish what you have started and fulfill the mission of the South Node. But this challenge comes with a twist. You won't be able to commit your karmic lesson unless you look in the exact opposite direction, the direction of the North Node, which prompts what needs to be done in order to move ahead in life. So the reason is simple. We cannot solve our problems with the same kind of thinking or attitude we used when we created them. We need to approach them from the opposite direction, or we need to approach them with a new thought that is the requirement in the present. So the South Node is the familiar comfort zone, our conditioning, our mental habits, our ingrained attitude, what you instinctively know from your previous life or through your genetic memory. Which is designed to keep doing because it feels safe and natural. It indicates the tendencies to be left behind in order to succeed in life, or in order if you are wanting to manifest the dreams what you have visualized. So the North Node is the unknown territory, the unfamiliar, the risk zone. Yet the North Node is exactly what you need to embrace and learn how to master, attitude, which is actually pointed out by the South Node. You can only heal and unlock your South Node past karma when you embrace your North Node, when you focus on the North Node. Everything flows in perfect alignment with the universe. It's as if the entire universal energies are conniving and showing you the picture through the North Node that this is what you can get in life if you actually leave the basic conditioned attitudes or habits which are reflected by the South Node. So it's like showing a mirror to you that what requires to be changed in order to manifest the life that you visualize. Does that mean we should dismiss the South Node and completely focus on the North Node? No, not at all. Your South Node is in fact a gift, something that is waiting to be birthed and brought to completion. But to do that, to get to your South Node, Ketu, you'll need new directions, which the North Node is your compass. So the South Node gift becomes a problem when we get stuck or we are stubborn and we refuse to change our habits or attitude. When we do the same things over and over again, instead of being birthed into new life, it becomes rotten and toxic. It keeps us stuck in the past, and that is why we feel that why are there repetitive patterns in my life? It is because we are not ready to change. In order to embrace the future, we need to change. We need to get past our own negativities. So the North Node is where we are headed, where we want to change and transform in our life. The South Node is what we need to distance ourselves from, what we need to change within our own self. So the solution to a South Node problem is always, the answer is always in the North Node. So the problem is the South Node, solution is in the North Node. So the paradox is that once you solve the South Node problem through the North Node, the outcome is not the North Node, but the South Node. Now, the South Node is the ripening karma for good and for bad. Let's take an analogy to this. It's like there is a disease, right? That's the South Node. Then there is a medicine, which the North Node is saying that you need to take to cure the disease. So eventually, South Node is like a gift to you, which points out the problem, and North Node is what tells you how that problem can be solved so that you can manifest the dreams that you've actually been seeing from your childhood. So the lunar equation comes as problems to be terminated, that is South Node. The South Node tells us which are the problems to be terminated. And the solution lies in embracing what the North Node is pointing to us. The result factor or the outcome is we get the solutions to the problems we are facing presently. So stay tuned to learn more about North Node in Taurus and South Node in Scorpio in my part 2, the do's and don'ts, and what to release and what to embrace is what I would be telling you in detail. So stay tuned for my part 2. Till then, stay blessed.